Welcome to another eSports Report. Chris Puckett joined by Solid Jake, and we are talking about Anaheim just 3 days away now. It's Tuesday. 2 days from now, we'll be in California, man. It's getting crazy.
Disneyland.
Disneyland? I wish we had time to go to Disneyland. Instead, we'll be setting up the venue. But it's going to be definitely a worthy experience because we're going to have 4 major streams going on, 4 main stages with lots more games being played. One of the games that is going to get some love on our main stage for the fighters is going to be Injustice. Talk to me about this game because we've gone over Killer Instinct and we've definitely covered Smash.
Now, Injustice is made by the same people that made Mortal Kombat, so the scene is very similar to Mortal Kombat. A lot of the pros have transitioned into the game. It has a bigger audience just in general. It's like, it's a new, fresh thing. It's the hot thing on the market, and it's super fun. If you've never played it, it's actually the DC Comics fighter, so it's really cool.
All right, let's take a look. Here is Injustice. All right, that's Injustice, and we're going to see it just a few days away in Anaheim live. Now, I'm told Injustice is actually one of the favorite games amongst the FGC because you can play it online with limited issues.
Right. The latency issues online are a lot less than some of the other fighters. If you play Street Fighter, there's a little bit more latency you have to deal with, and that's kind of a turnoff. So this is a really good game for that specifically.
So a lot of great players are coming out for this one. Who are some of the players to look out for in the tournament?
Man, we have a super stacked bracket here, but a lot of these guys are names we've seen around the MLG Mortal Kombat scene a lot.
Yeah.
Perfect Legend, who has been around forever, I think longer than I've even been known about esports, honestly. Pick of the Hut, Chris G, Canefield, and 16-Bit. All these guys come from, different scenes. Some of these guys are Mortal Kombat guys primarily. Like I said, there's a big transition because the games play so similarly, and I think, this is a little off topic, but MK10, these guys are probably pumped for that, but for right now, this is definitely their main game focus.
Now, I see Chris G on that list. He was also on our list for Killer Instinct. Is he going to be playing both titles?
He is. It's actually very common for fighting guys to actually, dabble in all the games. Like, Justin Wong plays, pretty much everything, you name it. He's competing in Killer Instinct for us. He's not actually playing in Injustice. I was pretty surprised about that, but Chris G will be playing in both events because they're not on the same day. They kind of happen separately because we have Injustice for a day and a half and then Killer Instinct for a day and a half.
We set it up so you could play in both if you wanted to.
Absolutely.
I like it. Well, I know there's a serious prize pool here in the FGC. Used to small prizes. This event, some decent money on the line.
$4 grand for first place. You don't see that for Injustice very often. I mean, this is a pretty solid prize pool for fighters. Doesn't matter if you're going to EVO or whatever. I mean, this is, you want to be here. If you're a top-level player, that's a nice chunk of change to bring home for sure because you're not splitting it with anyone like Call of Duty. I mean, this is just, you get first place, that $4 grand goes in your pocket.
That's your bank account right there. Injustice, Gods Among Men on the MLG Pro circuit for the first time. Really excited to have all of those players back. Can't wait to see my dude Pick of the Hut. He was one of my favorite guys when we did the fighter arenas here in New York City. This time, he'll be playing in California, Anaheim. Once again, 3 days away, and that means we are 3 days away from kicking off Smash. Jake, I know you got some more Smash stuff for us. For anyone who missed the previous shows, let's do a quick rundown of what we've seen so far. We have our 2 groups as we're breaking out 12 players into 2 groups to start off the pools. They'll be joined by 4 more from the open bracket. Let's take a look at Group A real quickly. Who's at the top of this group in your mind?
Group A is just, incredibly stacked in general. But that's the group with Mango, right? Yeah.
No.
No. That's Bree.
Yeah.
I get them mixed up. I know who's in which one. But, PP, this is definitely PP's my favorite for this group for sure because he's playing so dominantly. We saw him at Skatar. The last 3 events he's been to with the top-level talent, he has won. He won Apex, he won Civil War, and he won Skatar. Now, all 3 of those events were incredibly stacked, and he took the title. So he's 3 for 3. Now, all these other guys, I mean, Mewtwo King is a tyrant. Mewtwo King has been dominant in multiple titles, and Leffen has not played against these guys in any event except for Apex. So Leffen actually tweeted out today saying, I haven't trained at all until right now. My MLG training begins right now. He's a very, very confident player. He kind of has that cockiness to him. He's saying, I only need a few days to train to be ready to beat these guys. So that's his way of calling out. So I'm excited to see what happens, but they're the 3 favorites of the group, that's for sure.
I'm rooting for Leffen to get his ass kicked now. I'm not going to lie. I hope he gets destroyed or destroys everyone. It's got to go one of 2 ways there.
He's incredibly good. I mean, we saw him 6-0 Armada at Republic of Fighters 3, our European qualifier. So, I mean, he has what it takes, but he hasn't been training when all of these other guys have been training relentlessly the last couple of weeks for MLGs. So.
Now we have 2 groups here. That was Group A. Let's now take a look at Group B. This is your one with Mango in it.
Right. Mango, definitely, he's my favorite for this, but at the same time, Armada took back-to-back tournaments over the last couple of weeks. He didn't win what he wanted to win at Skatar. You know, that's PP took that tournament, but he looks really, really, really good right now. I mean, he's just playing incredibly flawlessly, but Mango said he has that special character he's working on for a specific stage, and I think that's kind of geared towards Armada. I think that's kind of geared towards making sure he can win that matchup in that situation. We don't know what it is. We don't know what he's going to pull out, but we know he's working on a secret weapon, and that's really exciting. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. All of these guys are training harder than they ever have before. I mean, everybody's already in California boot camping right now.
Well, let's take a look at the prizes they'll be fighting for as Smash, once again, another community not used to huge prize money. $5,000 in this one going to first.
You know, this is the biggest prize pool the Smash community has seen since MLG last ran Smash in 2006. So just put that into perspective. 8 years of this community existing, and they haven't had a prize pool this big since then. So this is really, really big for the community. Wow. I mean, all the top names in the world are traveling out to compete. This is going to be super stacked. Our pools, we just saw them. They look amazing. I can't wait to see who's playing who.
And, of course, we're going to have some players trying to make it through that open bracket to break into the pool play. But let's take a look at the other activity that's going to be going down. Before we get to the crew battles, in fact, we should take a look at our schedule. I know you finished the schedule late last night. Who's going to be playing in the very first match on the main stage?
You know, this was a debate. We're like, should we just blow it out the door? You know, it was a choice between 3 different matches. And it's like, you know what? Nothing feels better than starting it out with Mewtwo King versus Leffen. Super, super high level, high skill, right out the door.
We're going to see what the Swedes bring into the table. It's minute 1 of the tournament.
It's going to be nuts. I mean, I can't think of a better way to start the actual tournament with something that incredible. I mean, if you just looked on the list here, there's just so many amazingly stacked matches. I mean, I don't think we've ever seen AMSA versus Westballs. That's going to be amazing. We got Mewtwo King and Dr. PP halfway through our day.
And see how good Remen is versus PP as well. You know, you said he's kind of the dark horse. No one knows much about him.
Right, exactly. So, or I call them the black sheep, but whatever you want to say. And Remen versus PP, that's a Falco ditto. So it's going to see, you know, do we have this European Falco, arguably the best Falco from Europe, versus PP, who is considered to be the best Falco in the world. So I'm really excited to see how that pans out. This is just the first half. We actually have a whole nother half for the end of the day there where we're going to have all these other matches. So if you look at this, we have so many stacked matches, but again, I'm super pumped to watch PP versus Hax. I mean, that's going to be a very, very high-level match. Hax is considered to be one of the demigods of the community right now, so if he manages to take out any of these gods in the crew battle, that's just really, really big for him, and it will put him in a position where he could be considered to be one of those top 5-6 players. Right now, Leffen's the only one that's really contesting that, but we're actually going to finish the day off with Armada versus AMSA, so these are probably the 2 favorite, you know, non-American players, the 2 favorite international players, period, amongst the community, battling out for the last match of the night, and then we're going to go right into the East Coast, West Coast crew battle.
Well, speaking of crew battles, we have a video for you. Let's take a look.
I'm coming strong for MLG Anaheim.
Forward the tipper, and that is it! Oh my God! Oh, and he gets the second hit up there, Westball 62!
High again? Oh, man. Oh,
and Wilson has it! He's got it!
why is that caught it? PPND. He's like, you know what? I don't want you off stage. He has never been able to be Armada. Come on, come on. Up throw. Okay, but he gets out of it. Jab. And hungry box. There it is. A lot of dancing between both players. Nice, taking the jump, and he fares him. He didn't need to do that. You have to do that, though.
People are really gunning for me. They're looking at my habits. I am the guy to beat. The target's on my back.
This game, it's a language.
It's a, yeah. Oh, wow. Hungrybox is suddenly it's an even game from that jab because PP could have gotten a combo. Amazing. Needs to be careful. The knockdown. The shot. And there's the down smash. Laser, laser. The dare, and he's gone.
If that doesn't get you pumped, I don't know what will. Ken at the end. I remember that back in 06, carrying the champion around all over Anaheim. Well, we'll see. Will he be able to fight out of the open to get into the major matches? We have the crew battles finishing Friday night. Let's talk a little bit about our East Coast, West Coast lineups. Talk to me through this West Coast lineup first.
So West Coast is the, home coast. They're definitely the defending champions, or not the defending champions, but the defending territory. They're defending their homeland, essentially, and so they have an easier time getting their top players there because East Coast doesn't necessarily have the top 12 East Coast players, but East Coast has the Giants. So for West Coast, every single player on this roster is amazing at the game. They don't have a weak point. They have a good variety of characters, and they just have, an extraordinary amount of talent. I mean, like I was talking about yesterday, Axe is a Pikachu player, and that's just a unique curveball that they can throw at the enemy team because a lot of people don't even know how to handle a Pikachu. Westball being the Falco. Mango can play a lot of different characters, and it's really going to come down to who does he lock into, because all of these players actually have to lock into a specific character before Friday. I'm giving them till tomorrow night, and Thursday we'll actually know which characters every player will be playing. But we definitely know that Fly is going to be going with Ice Climbers. Fiction will probably go Fox. I mean, S2J Lucky. They have a lot of Fox. I mean, Fox is pretty common, but Shroom could go Sheik or Doc for sure, but I'm really pumped to see what they do. They definitely have a lot of variety in their roster, and I think Hugs did a really good job. Hugs and Hayuga did a good job picking a diverse team for sure.
West Coast is looking dangerous. Let's take a quick peek at the East Coast lineup they're going to be facing off against. Mango, the big name, of course, on the starting lineup for the West Coast. On East Coast, PP, Hungrybox, and Mewtwo King, obviously the three biggest of the 12.
Yeah, they have the three gods, but they have a lot of other talent. I mean, Chudat and Chillin Dune, they have both been around. Chillin has a great Fox, Chu has the Ice Climbers. A lot of players from Florida here, and they have a lot of talent for sure because the Florida scene is incredibly strong. We actually have our intern here who actually makes our videos, Cherry Costa, or Raging Cherry on Twitter.
Raging Cherry.
He plays with the guys all the time, and a lot of the Florida guys are very, very strong, so it's actually going to benefit the East Coast a lot to have the southern region combined into the East Coast for that. So I think it's actually going to be a very, very even crew battle. Like, even though we have three gods on East Coast, every player on the West Coast is incredibly strong. So it's going to be a very balanced, very exciting crew battle for sure.
I'm excited for it, man. That's going down. What do you have, 10 o'clock on Friday night?
Starts at 10 p.m. Friday night, Pacific time.
10 p.m. Pacific. So there you have it. That is going to do it for our Smash. We have one more game to talk about before moving into Call of Duty. Starcraft 2 is back. We haven't had it for a while. It is returning to all of its glory, and we have two fantastic groups already decided. In Group A, we're going to see players like Polt, the WCS champion for Season 2 and 3 in North America. We're going to have, of course, Scarlet attending once again, known for her wins in WCS Canada. Also, WCS 2012 North American champion. Played at the Game On Invitational, played really well in that tournament recently here. Scarlet, Polt, who do you have coming out on top of Group A?
I think I bungled this a little bit yesterday, but I mean, Polt is really strong. You can't count Polt out. I mean, he's a Terran player that knows how to run the cheesy builds. He knows how to run the long game macro build, so he can definitely pull out whatever he needs to do to really just kind of dominate the bracket. So I think Polt will definitely make it out, but Scarlet is the fan favorite for North America. You definitely want to root for her. I mean, she is easily the best player here in NA, and I think everybody just wants to see her come out. So I'm confident that she will make it out for sure.
She's looking pretty solid at this point. Here's a look at all the players there in Group A. Trap, Illusion, Patreus, and Puck will be joining Scarlet and Polt in Group A. But over in Pool B, we have even more competitors, starting with the Zerg TLO. It's going to be representing the European community. Violet bringing his Zerg game, as well as Mini Razor and Hendrilisk. Now, what's interesting here is it's only one Terran with Major coming from Mexico, and of course Huck, the Canadian-American, bringing his Protoss game, joined by 4 Zergs in Group B. What are the chances that either the Terran or the Protoss Huck make it out of Group B with the #1 spot?
You know, Majors has a huge uphill battle to climb, but at the same time, he has the advantage of really only having to train for the one Protoss and worrying about Zerg. They both have that advantage of saying, okay, there are 4 Zerg in my group, so they can really just practice against Zerg more than anything else and put the emphasis on that, making sure they just worry about Zerg. Because even if they drop the game against the Protoss or the Terran opponent in their group, they still have 4 other matches against Zerg. So I think they have the advantage here because they just really have to iron out their PVZ or TVZ.
It's going to be fun for everyone involved. We got your picks. I want to hear the community's picks, guys. Hit us up on Twitter. I'm at MLG Puckett. Here is your Friday schedule. We're kicking things off. Polt versus Scarlet. Right away, we're going to decide who's going to have the leg up advantage in Group A, followed by TLO versus Major. I know that is a matchup everyone's been talking about. Huck gets onto the main stage at 4:45, and you'll see him against Violet later on in the night, once again at 9:15. Another matchup to look out for there is at the very bottom, Polt versus Trap. Trap, of course, the Korean Protoss. How is he going to fare against Polt and his Terran setup?
You know, that's going to be a super, super crazy match. I'm glad we're almost closing the night out with that because, I mean, to see a Code S Protoss versus someone as seasoned as Polt that we see all the time again and again here at MLG, I think that'll probably be the highlight of the night for sure.
And we have an open bracket as well, guys. That's going to be on our Starcraft Bravo stream, so you can check that out. Some of the best matches from that could also be moved to the main stage at any point, so be on the lookout for that. If not, you can catch it all on Bravo all weekend long as 4 more players will move on to join group play. That's going to do it for Injustice, Smash, and Starcraft 2, but when we return, it's time to talk some Call of Duty. We have a Call of Duty manager stepping down. He's moving on to more things. We'll tell you who that is, who he's going to be replaced by, and then of course we have our 3 international teams to look out for. We have Curse Australia, TCM, and Epsilon to be discussed later on in the show. Jake, any final thoughts before I let you get back to work?
I just can't wait to see this crew battle happen. That's my most hyped part of the whole weekend, so
Your East Coast bias, how good of a chance does West Coast have in taking this?
like I said, it's very even. I give it a 55% advantage to the East Coast because they do have 3 gods, but I definitely think it's a very balanced, very even.
55-45.
It just ended up that way. We didn't handpick the crews. The crews were picked by the community's captains, so I'm pretty pumped. I think it ended up being perfect, and I can't wait.
Boom, Smash, Injustice, StarCraft, and Call of Duty all kicking off 2:30 Pacific time here on Friday. We'll be back with Call of Duty and the Curse Squad when we return.